Hi everybody, it's Martina and I wanted to share a family recipe. It's actually not family, it's somebody else's recipe we discovered about 4 years ago, and it's for the no-knead bread. But this is no-knead method, meaning that you don't need to like put your elbows into making the dough or anything. It only has a couple of simple ingredients. The only thing that's more special for this recipe, you need cast iron Dutch oven. So before you freak out about running out of bread, make this one. Within a day you have amazing crusty bread. So let me show you what the ingredients are. You need flour. You can use all-purpose flour. I do, however, like this King Arthur's bread flour, active yeast, water, a little bit of salt. So this, you need about 3 cups of flour. You need 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast. The recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoon of salt. Over the years, I found out that makes it really salty, so I cut down to only 1 teaspoon, and you need 1.5 cup of water. And so it's very simple. Very simple. Those are all the ingredients as you mix in. Also, what I wanted to show you is I have used, when I mixed the ingredients in, I've used a glass bowl. I didn't like it as much as using a plastic bowl. When the dough rises by itself, kind of by itself, it's easier to get out. Originally, when I started baking it, I didn't have this, which is a proofing basket. You can now buy these in Amazon. I mean, that's something that you can work towards to later on. But the first couple of breads, I only had this to work with, so it will work either way. Anyway, so let's get to it. So let's mix the ingredients in. 3 cups of flour. As I said, I like to use bread flour. Here's the dry ingredients. The yeast, 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast. It's this little of a amount of yeast will make great bread, which is pretty crazy, right? And I only use 1 teaspoon of salt. I don't know if you can see, so I just kind of, you can use your hands. I love to use my hands when I'm cooking. You can use spatula, whatever works. And you just have to incorporate that 1.5 cup of water. I do prefer to use room temperature. And, you know, nothing fancy schmancy. Just start working it slowly into the flour until it kind of mixes into one part. So you can kind of see the consistency that you need. And this is the point where you let it work on its own for 12 to 18 hours. I do like to cover it with saran wrap. So cover it with saran wrap so it has a chance to be in a warm environment. Okay, this is the tricky part, getting the dough. So this one was sitting about 16 hours or so and came out really nicely. So what you do, just need a little bit of flour, and really kind of just try to fold it into like a 3-part fold and one more here. Like that. Maybe a little bit more flour here. So as you can see, I'm not a perfect baker, but you kind of make it like this, fold 3 times over, tuck it in, and this needs to stay sitting, just kind of taking its time for another 15 minutes. 15 minutes passed, and as you can see, the dough is kind of working. It has all these bubbles in, you know, that's the gluten working on those. This is when I switch over and get it work on its rising on in the proofing basket. So one of the things, as I was looking at this recipe before, was to use something called wheat germ to powder the inside of the basket, so that way it holds better when you get it out of the basket onto the Dutch oven when it's ready to bake. And now comes the fun part, and that's getting this dough into the proofing basket. So don't laugh, it never looks pretty, but it tastes good. And as I said, I am not a baker. I love making this because it tastes good. It's slightly sticky, as you can see, but that's okay. Now, try not to like touch it too much, but anyway, this is what it looks like, and we're gonna let it stand for another hour and a half, and after that it will go into the oven. So look at this, hour and a half later in a proofing basket. Look at all these bubbles. Looking good, looking good. Okay, so here comes the part where I really kind of get stressed out about, the only part, and that is putting it into the Dutch oven to bake. About half an hour. So this was proofing for about hour and a half. Hour into it, I start heating up the oven. The recipe asks for 500 Fahrenheit. I do use convection oven, so I set up for about 475. So each oven bakes differently, and you'll just have to test it. I've burned a couple breads, I've undercooked a couple breads, so you just will have to work with your oven. That's the only disadvantage. So this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna move this over to the Dutch oven that has been preheating with the oven, so it's nicely and hot. And that's what I was saying, that I don't like that part. But we'll cook it covered for 30 minutes, and then we'll uncover it to finish off for additional 15 minutes. So all it cooks is 45 minutes. So just got the Dutch oven out of the oven. It's super hot, as you can see, it steams up. So this is the part that I don't like. Sometimes it doesn't work the best, so wish me good luck. Okay, and the bread is coming out. Maybe, hopefully, come on, work with me. All right. It doesn't look the prettiest, but this is what you get. We'll cover it. Goes in the oven, covered 30 minutes, uncovered 15. So this is a halftime show. We get to see what it looks like after baking for 30 minutes. Woo, hot. Alrighty. So now 15 more minutes. And there we go. Alright, so this one is not perfectly looking on top, but I bet you anything, once I cut into it, it's gonna look great. So let's go for it. Oh, it's making the crusty sound. All right, so check it out. Smells delicious. Looks pretty, like, doesn't look the best out here, but it's definitely good here, and I'm sure it's gonna taste really good. And let me know if you're gonna give it a try, how it turned out, and let me know what would be your favorite type of spread or topping you would put on this delicious bread. And at our house, it's a garlic dip. And maybe that's for another time, a recipe. Okay, hope you enjoy.